In this lesson, we're going to extend the time class by adding an equals method that allows us to compare two time objects to see if they hold the same time. Let me demonstrate to you why we have to do that. I create a time object called dTime. Then I create another object, same time, and I put the same data member values into the object. Now let's compare them. If dTime equals same time, console write line the same time, else console write line different time. And let's run this program. And we see that it says different time. Now why is that? That is because the equality operator does not know how to compare two objects of time class. To do that, we're going to have to write a method, an equals method or some other name, that allows that. So let me demonstrate how to do that. First, it's a public method because we want any user to have access to it. It's Boolean because it's going to return true, false. And we'll call it equals. The argument will be some time object. So we'll call it sometime because we're going to call this method with an object already selected and then bring in another time object to compare. You'll see what I mean in just a second. This method is just one if statement that says if hour equals sometime.hour and minute equals sometime.minute and second equals sometime.second, return true, else return false. We're comparing the current object's hour with the parameter's hour, the current object's minute with the parameter's minute, and the current object's second with the parameter's second. You can also use another keyword called this to signify the current object. Sometimes this makes your code just a little bit clearer, although it's not necessary at all. We'll go ahead and add it in. So now we can compare them. So rather than use this equality operator, we're going to say dTime equals same time, and here we need another parenthesis. Let's see. The same time. We're comparing each data member of each class object. The current object represented by this and the parameter object represented by sometime. There's much more you can do with classes and extending them in lots of ways. One thing we didn't do, but we will in later lessons, is actually do something with the time object, actually time something. That's one thing you can do with the time object, or you can use it to note an appointment book or something. But I thought it was very important to demonstrate what happens when you try to use built-in operators with class objects. I decided to extend time class with the equals method for this exercise. And that wraps up the exercises for this chapter. And now we're ready to move on to the next topic in object-oriented programming, and that's inheritance, where we learn how to reuse definitions from a superclass in a subclass. For example, a car is a subclass of vehicles, and a convertible is a subclass of car. But in inheritance, we can define some characteristics of a vehicle and then extend those into the definition of a convertible. And I'll demonstrate how that works in the next chapter.